Welcome, Montreal, to the first Suburban Radio Hour. We'll be coming to you every Sunday at 7 p.m. We'll bring you all the news, features, sports, entertainment, and society news. And our special weather report from a weather specialist. Everything you used to in the paper, all the immediacy, plus what we're working on going forward. So I'm here in studio with my colleagues, Anthony Bonaparte, features editor, Mark Ledbetter, sports editor, Mike Cohen with the entertainment and society news, and Stephen Bellina will be calling in with the weather report. Local news has become almost regional city news. You look at the paper this week, we've got arson sprees, we've got tax revolts, we've got renovictions, we've got the kind of stuff that used to be center city. It's now affecting every local community. But to us, the big story of the week, particularly in light of what is going on in Quebec City and how it affects our lives every time the question of separation and referendums is started, is, of course, Denis Coderre. You read the story about Denis mentioning that he's thinking about the Liberal leadership, and the numbers go up. Liberals could be back in the fight, says Jean-Marc Léger, the pollster. And the story you will read this coming week, Denis Coderre goes up to Quebec City just yesterday, has a press scrum, launches the No Merci, No Thank You campaign, and somehow Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon walks by him, and Denis Coderre puts his arm ingratiatingly on his shoulder very respectfully and says, "Now, Mr. Plamondon, please tell me how you're going to do this debt-free." It's our great pleasure to have our first guest on the Suburban Radio Hour, the Honourable Denis Coderre. Denis Coderre, welcome.
So am I entertainment or weather?
You are the news and the number one news. You may be
Beryl.
you may be l'esprit de l'espoir. Tell us about the I'm sure you felt great after the Léger poll that shows that puts the Liberals back in the fight if you were the leader. And
well, everybody, when they're talking about independence, you saw in the press saying that it's the renouveau, it's the renewal. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I believe in this country. I've been fighting for this country. We can have a strong Quebec in a Canadian efficiency. Listen, why having another country when I already have one? So I decided to take a stand, and I said, if you want to get rid of Coderre for good, don't mention referendum, because I believe that the vast majority of Quebecers, they identify themselves to Canada, and you can be a strong Quebecer within the country.
How did it feel that moment?
Yes, it's not perfect, but we can't make the change inside. Better have somebody pissing out the tent than pissing in.
How did it feel that moment when Plamondon, who was speechless when you said to him, now tell me, I respect you, you're very elegant and eloquent, but how are you going to do this debt-free? What was the expression on his face? How did you must have had a great deal of satisfaction.
Listen, I have a few tricks. I'm like you.
You're the master. I'm learning.
Well, okay, I'm your inspiration.
There you go.
What I'm saying is this, I knew that Plamondon wanted to crash my scrum.
He did it purposely?
Of course.
Okay.
I said, okay, you want to make the news? Come near to me. So I said nice things about him, but you can't kill with a smile. So I said, talk to me about your relationship with Slovakia, because if you do remember, the current Prime Minister Fico is now pro-Russian, and the coalition with the extreme right, made him pro-Russia.
Very different than Czechia.
Yeah.
How did you have a very eloquent explanation of the No Merci, No Thank You? Where can our listeners see it? Is it up anywhere for them to see?
You go on Facebook page and the group page and just write No Thank You movement, and you had it. I have a letter in French and one in English, so everybody can see it.
Now, cher Maître Coderre, I know that you are technically en réflexion, and you still intend to do the walk.
Of course I will.
You said that early 2025 is when you'll announce. Any chance that you will perhaps make up your mind earlier?
No.
Got it.
Because at the end of it, the reason why I'm doing the walk of Compostelle, it's for my own religious belief. But secondly, You know, you have a bunch of journalists who think that when Jesus walked on the water, they said that he didn't know how to swim. So if after walking 300 kilometers, people don't understand that I'm over with my stroke, I don't care. I would do my effort.
Denis Coderre, many thanks for being our premier guest on the Suburban Radio Hour. Bon chance, both on
Thank
the
you,
walk
my friend.
and
Toda Rabba.
Bevakasha.
Okay, bye.
As I said, you look at local news today, and it reads like what used to be Center City news. We saw during COVID increases in crime throughout the West End, West Island, and the past week we've had renovictions, we've had tax strikes in Saint Laurent, renovictions in Côte Saint Luc. But perhaps the most interesting story is the amount of violent crime through the West End and the West Island: arsons, assaults, a few murders. And I'm joined by my colleague Joel Goldenberg, and you'll take a look at our front page this week. West End arson spree continues in Saint Laurent, NDG, TMR, another 6. Joel, welcome.
Hi.
So what do the police say about this? I mean, we've seen this on and on and on. We know some of it, where it's coming from, is business, it's extortion, but these are heavy numbers for the West End.
It indeed is, but it's been going on for at least the last 2 years, as you said, at an amazing rate. I even have a list of arrests in Saint Laurent that have taken place just in the last few months on many different issues.
We know some of the Saint Laurent ones are related business to business. I remember you writing about this.
Yes.
They involved restaurants. One restaurant's got hit for the second or third time.
There was a restaurant that was, there were attempted arsons, and even, if you remember, a shooting at that restaurant while people were inside for a party. It's a music-related bar, or not a bar, but a music-related hall, and people were there at 2, 3 in the morning, and it was shot at. And there were several incidents involving that restaurant, and as you said, allegedly involving extortion.
Now, there's another parallel a series of crimes going on in arson. These are done with Molotov cocktails and everything else. And this business of setting on fire multiple cars and multiple trucks sitting in lots. In Lachine, we've seen it. We've seen it, I believe, in TMR. What is that about? Do the police have any idea?
Not yet. No, they're looking into it, but we haven't heard of any connections yet. But there's been many of these have happened in the industrial area and commercial areas of Saint Laurent as well. This
is a story to watch. What are you working on for next week that's of interest? It's all of interest, but particularly.
Oh, there's so many. There's a case by the Raoul Wallenberg Center for Human Rights.
Based in Montreal, chaired by Erwin Kotler, the former Minister of Justice, yes.
Yeah, he's they're bringing a case to the International Criminal Court against Hamas with 1,000 pages of evidence regarding how they're treating the hostages and all the human rights violations that they've committed.
We'll be looking for that, and Montrealers, look at today's paper and stay tuned for next week's. Joel Goldenberg, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, listeners, this theme of criminality, perhaps not as venal as arson, but people thinking that it's not a matter of the rules don't apply to them. It's kind of simple decency. And the West Island is abuzz with this story of this art teacher that's selling his students' work for their own profit. And we have our own Chelsea St. Pierre, who's written on this week with us. Chelsea, welcome.
Thank you, Beryl.
So what did this Mario Perron do? I mean, this is a teacher with some experience. How did it get into his head that he perfectly justified in using his students' work for his own profit?
Well, Beryl, we don't have any answers because the Lester B. Pearson School Board and the administration of the school has refused comments both to the media and to the parents of these students unapologetically, despite being faced with these accusations. So a group of parents is actually suing Mr. Perron as well as the Lester B. Pearson School Board as a result of him selling the artwork of 96 students online.
And I know he's probably sort of hunkering down somewhere, but it would be interesting to know what goes through a person's mind who thinks that he can exploit young students. These students are as young as what?
Yeah, well, the artwork was produced in the classroom of grade 8 students as part of an assignment issued by the art teacher, who ironically specified to the students on this particular project to avoid any forms of plagiarism.
Brilliant. Exploitation, yes. Plagiarism, no.
Right.
Perfect.
And aside from the alleged copyright infringement, parents are also saying that this is a security issue, as the students' names were posted with the artwork under each piece.
Now, we know you're working on the sequel to this, and our good friend Joel de Bellefeuille, who we've covered since he started the Red Coalition, and even before that with the harassment he faced, he's furious about this, and you'll be writing up his threatened $350,000 lawsuit against the school board.
Yeah, the number is increasing as more parents are joining the lawsuit. We'll have more information on that in this week's coming edition of the Suburban.
Perfect. How many parents are involved?
7.
Remarkable story. It's a remarkable story of hubris and just people not even having the basic rules of the decency game in their heads anymore. Chelsea St. Pierre, many thanks for your great work, and we look forward to your article following this one up this coming week.
Thank you.
This is the Suburban News Hour, and we're going to traffic, and we're coming back with my friend and colleague Anthony Bonaparte, a features editor, right after this.